Hi, I'm Jason Horsch, owner of Xanadu Gallery in Scottsdale and Pinetop, Arizona, and this is Ask a Gallery Owner. Today's question comes from Leanne in Minnesota. She asks, is it frowned upon by gallery owners for the artists to sell prints of their work in fairs and online and to be seeking gallery representation? And also in the same vein, to sell gift items with artists' artwork, product cards, scarves, t-shirts, etc. So, great question, Leanne. And I hear this question from many artists. And of course, an artist, it would make sense, would want to be seeking to expand the avenues through which they can sell their art. And so, we can kind of think of some of the traditional avenues for selling original art being art festivals and fairs, galleries, your website, social media efforts. But as an artist, it's also natural for you to wonder, well, are there folks out there who would be interested in my art and potentially make a purchase from me, but who may not be able to or may not be ready to make a purchase of an original work of art? How can I reach out to those buyers? And so prints, other merchandise are a very natural avenue to kind of explore, being able to offer the imagery through reproductions and thereby kind of lower the price and increase your visibility and footprint in terms of the people who might be able to acquire your artwork. And I think this is a good idea to explore. In terms of how it might impact your relationship with galleries, I'd want to be very careful not to try and speak for other gallery owners or all gallery owners. But I will tell you that for me and for other gallery owners that I've talked to, and a number of artists that I work with who show in galleries, this just doesn't end up being a huge issue. The concern might be from some gallery owners, or we might even assume that this would be the concern from gallery owners, would be, well, if people can buy your imagery in a less expensive format, why would they buy the originals? And we just have not found that to be an issue. Fine art buyers, people who are interested in and qualified to financially purchase original artwork, just don't tend to be in the market for the cheapest thing that they can find. And so they're going to buy the originals in galleries, regardless of what else is available out there. And there's just not going to be a lot of cannibalization of your sales because of that. And so really, I don't see prints as a kind of a deductive issue where you're taking away from your sales. It's just an expansion of your efforts to leverage the artwork that you're creating, the work that you've done to develop your skill and talent as an artist, and expand your reach and offer other items. Now, could you have some gallery owners that are not fans of you putting your artwork on coffee mugs and t-shirts? Sure, they may feel like that somehow dilutes the unique and special nature of your work. I would argue with that, though. I just have not seen that art collectors are dissuaded from purchasing your art because they've seen the imagery elsewhere. I mean, first of all, it's fairly unlikely, even if you're selling thousands of t-shirts, that anyone, I mean, in terms of the overall market, it's just increasingly unlikely, or I should say exceedingly unlikely, that you're going to have an art collector encounter that imagery somewhere else. But even if they did, I've not experienced that to be an issue. And in some ways, some collectors might even feel like it's a benefit. Here's this artist who is well known in the art community, well known among the larger public. They love purchasing prints and t-shirts and mugs, but I am special because I have the original of that imagery. And that's kind of how I would look at kind of framing this question, is just thinking about, one, the impact that it's going to have, which I would argue is fairly small, and two, the benefits that it could bring. Probably not huge benefits to most galleries in terms of them being interested in carrying those kinds of items, although some galleries do have a print section or a gift section even, and they may see it as a benefit that you already have those available. But Other galleries that don't just are going to see that as a separate question altogether, and not, in most cases, see it as an issue. If a gallery owner, if you're talking to a gallery about representation and the gallery expresses concerns, you can have a conversation with them and kind of hear their side of the argument, and then make a decision if it makes sense to continue producing these items or not. But again, I just suspect this is not going to happen, that you're not going to run into that kind of issue. Now, there are other issues involved here. One of the bigger ones being that simply deciding that you're going to share your imagery through prints and other merchandise does not mean that you're instantly going to find a market or distribution for those products, and nor does it mean you're going to see an instantaneous increase in revenue and sales for yourself. There's going to be some real work involved in learning that business. It's a different business than selling originals, and it's going to take some kind of acquiring of knowledge and figuring out a plan to make a systematic approach to building a business around those items. And that can be done, but just be aware that it's going to take some work on your part. So, Leanne, I hope that's helpful. I would encourage you to explore the possibilities. I wouldn't let fear of galleries' opinions of me slow me down. And for those of you who have already done this, who are reproducing your work, I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments on how you might reply to Leanne. What's your experience been? If you're working with galleries, how have they responded to these items? Have you seen any downside to producing the merchandise and prints, or upside? What have the benefits been that you've seen? Leave your comments below. We'll look forward to sharing it. And if you have a question you'd like me to answer in one of these sessions, please also leave that in the comments. Be sure and subscribe either to my newsletter or my YouTube channel to see future Ask a Gallery Owner updates. Thanks for joining us.